welcome everybody. I'm excited about this class. It's all about putting you guys on top and attracting the best clients for you to grow your business. And like Erin said, we're all going to meet individually after this. At some point, we'll put it on the schedule and he can help you. Some of the stuff, Susan and Farah have kind of been with us all along, but Emily, he's got some really good practices for your CRM and growing that and organizing it, and it's been really amazing.
Awesome. Heidi, thank you so much, and welcome everybody to today's session. We are going to cover people generation. This is all about converting your most valuable audience. And I'm your host, Lacey. I'm a psychology-driven digital marketing trainer, speaker, coach. I help agents go from good to great by identifying blind spots in their business because you don't know what you don't know. And so I also assist agents with really other business strategies. And I'm going to cover that here in a second. So thanks so much for joining. Really excited to get this kicked off with you today. This is an award-winning training. So let's dive right into this. For those that aren't familiar with who I am, again, I'm an Inman contributing author and Inman ambassador. I am an NAR certified technology instructor. I've been in this space for about almost 20 years in technology marketing space. In the real estate space for about 16 years. I have my broker's license actually in Arizona, and I work with agents, teams, brokerages all over the country, helping them level up their business. So let's set the stage for what we're going to cover today. And what I think is really interesting is that for every $82 a realtor spends on lead generation, we spend only $1 on retention. And so today's session is all about why that is and how can we increase the amount of business we get from the people that already know us. Whether we're a brand new agent or we've been in the business for 30 years, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is our focus and who we're focused on and how we're building and developing and creating relationships with people. And so that's what I want to cover today. I'm going to cover my 7 laws for really diving into converting your people, your network, your sphere. And I want you to be really clear with the value in really diving in deeper into your people, into those relationships and bringing them a higher level of value. And then also how you're going to do that, what your game plan looks like so that not only you understand the why, but you understand the how. Yeah, that's my goal for you today. If after today's session, you're not very, very clear with what you're going to do and what you're going to implement into your business, let me know. Let Heidi know. Okay. So I'm a resource for Heidi. I work with a company called West, and West is owned by Williston Financial Group, which also owns WFG National Title. So I work for a technology marketing consulting company, which is the sister company of Heidi's company. So Heidi is my client. She's got access to my calendar. So we'll get your digital audit scheduled. That'll take 15 to 30 minutes. And then we can meet again if you have any other questions, needs, or you just want to do some coaching. Be happy to assist you there. So here's the deal with this though. So we're spending $82 for every person we don't have a relationship with versus $1 for every person that we do, right? And if I think about when I was dating, or if you think about when you were maybe dating at one time, like usually to start the relationship, it does cost a little more, right? There's dinners and there's gifts and there's, right? We're spending a lot, but then all of a sudden, what happens? Like we get married and all of a sudden we stop spending money on each other, right? And what happens? What happens if we start neglecting these relationships, start neglecting our partner, right? The relationship starts to get negatively affected. And that's the thing that we want to avoid. We want to avoid that huge burst on the front end and then the kind of the fizzle on the back end. Right. And you guys, relationships are so funny because there's so many parallels between any type of relationship on any level. There's parallels between all these different relationships. So what I want to share with you too is that according to NAR, 90% of home buyers say they would use their realtor again or refer them to others. 90%. But what's happening is that according to NAR, realtors generate only 13% of their business from repeat clients. So only 13% of these people are using them again, although 90% said they would, and 17% of their business coming from referrals. So what that's telling me is that we are not doing a job as an industry of staying in front of our people, staying top of mind with them, but in a relevant, personalized, valuable way. Right? We're not investing in these relationships. We're basically working a transaction, then we're just going to the next one, and we're neglecting that relationship, right? And we're hoping that they remember us, hoping that they reach back out to us and refer us. And according to an article in Psychology Today, most people have to work consciously to master the skills necessary to make relationships endure and flourish. And I don't know about you, but relationships for me are not super easy. And you know, they're just, I don't care if it's your best friend or if it's someone you just met, if it's a client, if it's your significant other, whatever. Relationships take work, right? Take communication. We have to create shared experiences. We have to maintain some sort of level of likability. We have to bring value to the relationship and to each other. You guys, that requires effort. It requires work. And I think for us, we can't just assume that a relationship is going to continue if we're not feeding it. And this whole concept today is I want you to start to think about your relationships from a different standpoint. I want you to consider what that food is for the relationship. So there's really two different types of what I would call business relationships. There's ones that are financially driven and emotionally driven, right? Ones that help make us money and ones that make us happy, okay? And my goal for you is, why can't we have both? Right? We don't have to be best friends with our clients, you guys. And in fact, our clients don't expect us to be best friends with them. And in fact, our sphere doesn't expect us to become best friends with them, right? They're probably content with the level of relationship that they have with us now. But what I would say is, let's see if we can implement a few strategies, a few efforts, right, that don't require a ton of time from us, just to improve and increase. Because what's going to happen is, if we improve and increase those relationships, our businesses will improve and our revenue will increase, right? Our income will increase. So let's dive into the 7 laws of people generation. Law number 1, understanding lifetime value, right? Okay. And has anyone heard of lifetime value yet on this? Okay. So lifetime value is the whole concept of this person that is potentially going to engage in a transaction with me, right? They're good for, let's say they're good for a $20,000 commission, right? If I just narrow it down to the commission I'm going to get from this person when they buy a home, let's say that it's $20,000. Let's say they're going to buy a $700,000 house. I'm going to get roughly 3%. I'm going to make 20 grand. Imagine though, if I look beyond the transaction and I go, well, if I look at this person as a relationship, if I look at this person as someone that's going to transact multiple times and even refer people to me, how much actually are they worth in my business now? And you start to look at them in a different light. You start to look at them as a shareholder, as an investor in your business, where there is ROI attached to your outreach to them, because you know that they're going to reciprocate. So this is the formula for lifetime value. It's basically, you take the average transaction amount and you actually multiply it by the purchase frequency, how frequently they're going to purchase. So right now, national average is every 10 years. So they'll sell something, buy something every 10 years. And then let's say that, you know, they're 50 years old, and let's say that you're not going to work forever, right? But let's say that you're in a relationship with them for 20 years. We just look at the potential length of the relationship. Now we can figure out that if they're going to buy or sell, let's say $1 million home, every 10 years, they're going to sell, buy. That's 4 transactions over 20 years. Now, instead of being worth $30,000, they're now worth $120,000. That's called the lifetime value. Okay. Plus any referrals they send over. Right. And you should be generating at least 2 referrals. I would say a minimum of 1, if not 2 referrals a year from past clients, or even your sphere, people that know, like you, trust you, understand that you are a real estate professional, and they should be sending you referrals. If they're not, then we need to figure out why that's the case. Here's the thing. This is such an important concept that Realtor.com actually has created a lifetime value estimator on their website. If you go to Realtor.com/lifetime value, you can play around with this calculator, this estimator. And the neat thing about this is it actually drills down specifically to, you select the state, the county, it'll pull in the average home price, commission rate, broker split, probability of repeat business, the average client age, average life expectancy, average years in home, and then total number of referrals you think you're going to get. You can plug in all those fields, and what's going to happen is it's going to spit out a number, and that number is going to be much different than the number that you're going to get if you simply closed one transaction with them. So imagine if your average home price, let's just say, I'm going to go real low, right? Real low. Right now, $345,000 is the average home price in the Phoenix area. Okay. Commission rate, 2.5%. Let's just say you're just getting 2.5%, right? Of that buy side or of the sell side, just on average. Broker split, let's say broker takes 15%. Let's say that 1 out of 5 are going to work with you again. 1 out of 5 over a 10-year period, 1 out of 5. Let's say average client age is 55, average life expectancy 79, average years in home, 10 years, number of referrals over the lifetime of the relationship, simply 3. You go from a $7,000 commission to a $33,000 client, okay? So that's a transactional shift. It's a mindset shift from thinking in terms of just transactions to thinking in terms of relationships. Again, thinking in terms of moving away from just simply a client to an investor in your business, to a stockholder, a shareholder. What can we do to bring them more value on a consistent basis? What can we do to play a bigger role from a consultative standpoint in their lives? Right? What can we do to create a better experience for them through the services we provide, and just overall, how can we bring more resources to them as a person that knows everything about the home, right? Can we put together a full suite of home related resources for them, of contacts, a directory, right? Okay. So here's the thing. I want to just touch on this real quick, because this graphic, actually created by Brian Buffini, a real estate coach, it really shows the comparison, the contrast of the transactional versus the relational agent. And this may be a little hard to see. So, what I'll do is I'm happy to share this graphic with you. But what I want us to do is just go through a couple of the traits of a transactional relationship versus a relational agent and look at the differences. Differences in mindset, differences in the way that they operate, and the way that they look at relationships. So a transactional agent treats people like a commission check, right? They wish, but they don't set goals. They don't track their activities or their behaviors, right? They're not taking care of themselves physically, right? They don't have the energy to maintain, high level of performance for their business, right? They lose touch with their clients after the transaction closes. They're constantly multitasking and working on many different things, but never really accomplishing much. They're working in isolation. They're lacking the focus. They're participating in the peaks and valleys of this business because they're not building structure into their business. They're not systematizing, okay? They spend a lot of money on internet leads because they don't have a pipeline of repeat and referral business. That's a transactional agent.
Can you send me this slide? I love that.
I'm happy to.
Okay.
And here's the thing, you guys. I'm not coming down on anyone. I'm simply saying I was in these shoes at one point, right? I have my broker's license. I engaged in about 60 transactions in the early 2000s. And that's how I operated. I was a very transactional agent. A relational agent, on the other side, is the agent of the future. They're future-proofing their business, right? They're focusing on the relationship, right? They're focused on sales and marketing. They are confident in who they are, the services they provide, in the uniqueness that they are. They know what their differentiator is, right? They manage their lives and their schedule and their calendar very, very effectively, right? They're time blocking. They're setting goals, like long-term goals, and then they're setting daily micro goals that will help them get to their long-term goals. Right? They're committing time every day, every week to leveling up in their business, whether it's 15 or 30 minutes a day to learning something new, right? They're taking responsibility when things don't go well, and they have an abundance mindset, right? They've systematized their business, okay? And they really focus on gratitude, and they journal, right? These are things that they're very intentional with how they use social media. Again, I'm kind of going off script here because I've met with almost 9,000 agents in the last 10 years. And it's easy for me to see the difference between a relational and a transactional agent. It's easy for me to see and recognize when an agent is going to do really well based on their trajectory, or they're not, and they just need some help and some guidance, right? But it's very, very, very clear, because I've seen the before and afters, right? I've now been in the business for almost 20 years. I see the agents that have gone, and really some of them have transformed their business. And you'd be surprised too, though. There are quite a few agents. And don't beat yourself up, you guys, by the way. If you do, I'm not saying you do, but if you do, don't beat yourself up. A lot of the top producing agents, a lot of these leaders in our industry, they didn't start off like that. And in fact, a lot of them stumbled for half a decade or longer. I know some of the agents that you look up to now and go, top producing agent, man, they just kill it. How'd they become so great? They were an agent for 10 years before they figured out their right foot from their left foot. Okay, so so let's just keep moving forward. Law number 2, know your people. When I say know your people, and I'm going to I threw in a relevant slide as well after this one, but that actually was shared today with me. So I updated this presentation just for you today. My favorite author, he's written 19 books. He's a marketing genius. And I don't throw the word genius or guru around ever. But Seth Godin, if you haven't read any of his books, Purple Cow, Tribes, Lynchpin, he is incredible. Absolutely incredible mind in the world of psychology and world of marketing. But he talks about how it makes more sense not to worry about getting big, right? Not to worry about getting followers and building this huge business and really bringing value to everybody, right? And trying to appeal to everybody, but instead focus on being important, seeking out the smallest viable audience, right? The smallest audience that could potentially fuel your business indefinitely and elevate it to whatever level you wanted it to. Because if you bring them something special, if you do something special for them, if you create unique special experiences for them, if you bring them personalized value on a regular basis, whether it's through video or email, or if you dive into their lives in a deep way, they're going to tell their friends about you. They're going to feel so connected to you that they're going to be so compelled to want to become like a sales force for you and literally shout your name from the mountaintops, you guys. And what's amazing is I know agents that have this happening for them. They generate 90+% of their business from repeat and referral. They have huge businesses. They don't have to worry about having to work internet leads. Now, they still have a lead generation system in place, because you still want to bring in those new relationships, those new opportunities, but they're working in a very intentional way, and they're working with people that want to work with them, right? They're very choosy with who they work with. Check this slide out. Who knows Tom Ferry? Anybody know Tom Ferry? So Tom Ferry has his summit going right now. Right as we speak, Tom Ferry's yearly summit, it's called the Success Summit, it's going on right now. So I took time away from the summit because I'm part of that summit. This is a screenshot that I took about 45 minutes ago from that summit this morning. Okay. And this is Tom Ferry. So again, 45 minutes ago, Tom Ferry talks about, and it's so funny because this was so relevant to my point, right? To identifying your small audience, right? Your small audience. So he says there's really 2 options when it comes to real estate agents. And I've been saying this for years. And I love that, like, you know, I mean, I'm not Tom Ferry, right? Tom Ferry, incredible dude. And he's, you know, he charges, you know, I mean, gosh, he's got, 50+ coaches, really smart dude. You know, he's coaching some of the top agents in the entire country, right? But what he's doing, what he says here is, he says, you really have 2 options as an agent. Option number 1 is you can be the artisan agent. Option number 2, you can be basically the scalable agent. And I love option number 1 better. If that is the choice to be extraordinary, not just big. And you're intentionally smaller. You're constrained by your design. So you're super intentional that you're not the right fit for everybody. You don't want to work for everybody, right? You don't want to work with everybody. You're focused on serving fewer clients, but your focus is on delivering an exceptional experience every single time. Like, you go out of your way to create that exceptional experience. So you're masterful at telling the story on social and creating a buzzworthy brand, because you're not distracted trying to work with dozens of different people at the same time. You're focused on those individual experiences and making those absolutely incredible, sharing those experiences with others, And what's amazing is that's where the buzz comes from. So the money is good, right? You're not, it's again, the artisan agent probably has a very small team if they even have a team, right? Um, but the client experience is the focus. It's over the top, and that's where the satisfaction comes from. And I'll tell you, the artisan agents, you guys, are the happiest agents. I'll tell you that straightforward right now. Of the two options, number one, the artisan agent, the agent that is super intentional with who they work with, they're all just strictly focused on the experience. They are so much happier than the agents that are trying to build this massive business, that are working all these leads, that want to bring on showing agents and buyer's agents. I'm telling you, I work with a lot of those agents too. I work with agents that have 20 people, 30 people, 40 people on their team. And I'll tell you this, a lot of them would give it all up in a second to get half the income and remove themselves of 90% of that stress, that anxiety. So anyways, I'm not saying you can't build and scale a massive business. I'll help you do that if that's what you want. But again, the focus, you guys, you can get there if you focus on those viable people, your most viable people. So who are they? Who are those folks, right? And I'm going to move through this fairly quickly, you guys. But it could be people in your network. Could be people that, it could be your phone contacts, right? People that already know you. It could be people that live in a certain area that have something in common, demographically, something in common. It could be you really can relate to divorcees. Maybe you've been in that situation, that scenario. Maybe empty nesters, right? You've had your children leave, go to college, move out. And now, here you are with a home that you don't need. And you understand that world. Maybe you were a first responder, you get that world, you want to specialize in those folks. Whatever that looks like, that can be your most valuable audience or your most viable audience. Or again, geographically, maybe it's people within a certain area, community, right, neighborhood. What I would ask you is, what is the opportunity that looks like there? Okay. What is the, how many of those people are, what is the moving rate or the sales rate in the area? How many people fit that audience, right? So we want to know what some of those numbers look like. If 6% of the people in that area are moving every year and you were to gain 5% market share, is that enough business for you to live a nice lifestyle that you want? Okay. So we want to know what that turnover rate looks like, especially if it's a geographic area. And here's one thing that you may not have considered. I want to throw this your way. Again, food for thought, right? We're talking about your people. And if you really want to bring them a high level of value, okay, value. What the heck is value? Value is simply utility divided by time, or usefulness of information divided by the amount of time it takes to consume that information. So if you want to bring people useful, valuable information, then we need to get to know them on a deeper level. That's it. That's really the only way to do it. We can't just shoot out, here's a market report, here's what's going on with the market, here's what's going on. We need to get deeper, you guys, and we need to get more personalized with what we're doing. So we need to understand, what is their personality like, their beliefs, motivation, priorities, what do they value in life? What's their attitude like, especially during the current environment, right? What are their interests, their lifestyle? People move to certain areas based on lifestyle. What is that lifestyle for them? What is that lifestyle for the people that live in the area that you want to specialize in? Okay. So again, I want to challenge you to go deeper with your people. Go deeper. Okay. Figure out the how and the why, not just the who, but how, why they're taking action, why they make the decisions they do. Okay. What are their hopes, dreams, and aspirations? What are their motivations? What are their fears? Right. Okay. If you can dive in and understand them at a deeper level, guess what? If you reach out to them, you're going to connect with them on such a deeper level. You're going to build such a much stronger relationship with them. If you're sending out an email newsletter to them, which I'd recommend that you do at least some information to them every month, right? If you understand them on a deeper level, that email is going to be so much more valuable to them because it's going to speak directly to them. Okay. Where can you find this deeper information about your audience, your people, right? Where do you guys think? I mean, gosh, social media, conversations with them, conversations with people like them in a similar situation that fit a similar demographic. Okay. Typically may have a similar psychographic or similar needs, similar interests. Law number 3, telling your unique story, right? This is something we need to be absolutely clear about. How can we define exactly who we are, how we're different very quickly, right? And allow people to feel like they are working with the right person, like they understand us, like we're being transparent and authentic with them. So what I would say is, what makes you you? What makes you different? What makes you unique? Okay. Maybe from a personality standpoint, maybe it's your background, maybe it's the success you're creating in real estate. Whatever that is, you guys, let's lean into that. Okay. Because what's happening is that story is what others are telling about you when they refer people to you. It will help you get more referrals if you're more in tune with your story, your unique selling factors, what makes you different. Maybe it's a service you're providing, an experience you're creating that's different, right? Maybe you've simplified the real estate process or transaction. Maybe you are the real estate concierge. Maybe you are whatever that looks like, something that's different. It's creating differentiation for you, because guess what happens if we don't create differentiation in this business? If there's no differentiation, we're seen as a commodity. When you're seen as a commodity, the only differentiator becomes price. And do we want to start to negotiate ourselves, our commissions right down? No, we don't. Because guess what? When you get to that place, now it's a price, it's a race to the bottom, right? It's a race to the bottom. We don't want to be in that race. If we're creating differentiation, if people see us as being unique, doing something different, then we're going to be in a whole different ecosphere. We're going to be a whole different world, and we're not going to be seen as someone that's going to even budge on their price. In fact, we could charge more because we can validate and justify that. Okay, but again, I want you to be confident in your story. Some people call their story their bio. Some people call it their biopic, an agent story. I don't care what you want to call it. Write it down. Write out just free flow of thoughts. Figure out. That's a tongue twister. Free flow of thoughts. Write down what you think is different or unique about you, or how you want to be different or unique. What you're going to start doing, what you're already doing, right? So, because here's the thing, if we do this, it can change your business. It can absolutely change your business. Here's an example of a company that simply added how they're different from a performance standpoint, right? On their website. They started receiving more inbound communications from their website when they simply added these 2 stats at the top, saying that they were 3 times faster at selling, and they were selling for 2% more. They got in tune with their numbers. They figured out how their numbers were exceeding market average. Again, your differentiator could be numbers, it could be services, it could be experience, it could be your background, it could be anything. It could be your approach, right? It could be the fact that you take more of a holistic approach. You take a spiritual approach. You do this. You have additional value in services and feng shui and this. And I met with a healer last week where they go in and they clear a home and they recognize different energy and spirit and this and that. And I thought, that is awesome, right? How different is that? Would someone be willing to pay more for that kind of service? Yes, they absolutely would. Someone that's into that absolutely would go, you tell me, that is priceless for me to get someone to come in and clear my home for me before I buy it. You know what I mean? And so again, but the thing is, people don't know that until we tell them that we offer that. People don't know what we do until we tell them, you guys. We have to tell them. We can't be secret agents, right? So, and I get we're modest, we're humble. We value those traits. This isn't us bragging. This isn't us having a huge ego. This is us telling people what we do and what we can do for them, because we want them to be able to benefit from working with us, right? It's a benefit to work with you. You provide something that nobody else does. We got to just let people know about that. We got to let them know what that is. So over the past 8 years, through my Seller's Advantage program, I've sold over $100 million in homes, assisted over 65 families buy and sell. That's an example. I mean, again, that's a pretty kind of generic, boring example, but that's an example of differentiation. Seller's Advantage program, that might pique someone's interest. It seems a little different. It's unique, right? But maybe you have a different program, a different service that you've named your suite of services, right? You've simplified. I have my Sell Simple program, my Sell Simple package, right? Whatever that looks like, okay? It's differentiation. And then are you sharing that story? How are you sharing? Are you sharing it through video? If not, this is how we should be sharing it. There's no more effective, powerful way for you to share a story than to do it, face to face, but we don't really have the opportunity always to do that. So secondarily, through video. By the way, Dustin shared his 51-second long story on YouTube. Many agents do this, and he's got over 3,000 views.
Wow.
On this, right? Because people are looking you up. 90% of the people that find out about you are searching for you on Google.
So you recommend that the bio video be under a minute?
No, not
Just
necessarily.
whatever?
Yeah, well, no, I would say bio. There's really two forms of you sharing your story. There's a short form, right? And I would say the short form should be about a minute. Okay. And that would be something where you're sending that to someone that has no idea who you are, and you just want to get them enticed. You want to just give them a little taste, a little sample. And then I think you have a little more of a long form version that might even get into a little more of your lifestyle, right? Show you in action, show you doing what you do best. And that would maybe be 3, 4, 5 minutes long.
Some lifestyle pictures.
A little more lifestyle. Yeah. You going to yoga, you clearing a house, if that's what you're doing, you doing whatever, you know what I mean? You working with clients, you with your family a little bit. Yeah.
You guys, we have Simone, our new graphic designer, is also very competent at video. So we are hoping to set up a schedule of certain days of the week that are just dedicated to people coming in and doing their videos. So if you guys want to get that on the calendar, we can do that as well.
Wow, what a great value add. When you get your story on video, look where you're going to share it. And again, you guys, I'll share this with you, but it's going to be everywhere. So reach out to Heidi. Once you have your video done, we'll make sure that you get that leveraged everywhere. So law number 4, mind share psychology. And the fact of the matter is people forget we're in real estate every 3 weeks. Okay. Studies have shown that people are forgetting not about us, but that we're in real estate, and it's happening in a shorter amount of time than it used to be. And why is that? Because we're more distracted than ever. Our attention spans are shorter than ever, right? Humans have an 8-second attention span. 8 seconds. Guess how many seconds a goldfish's attention span is? 9 seconds. 1 second longer than humans. That is embarrassing, you guys. What is happening to us? We're like, we're like these gnats out there, just distract. Is it our fault? Here's the thing. Yes and no. Collectively, it is our fault. No, it's not our fault, because we're being inundated with information and marketing messages and advertising every single day. Some people say as many as 3,000-4,000 different messages every single day. So I haven't counted it, but I know it's in the hundreds at least. So here's the thing. If your outreach to your clients is once every, or your sphere is once every 4 weeks or once a month, it's not enough. It's not frequent. The frequency is not enough. Okay. The reason is if people are forgetting about us every 3 weeks, simply forgetting we're in real estate, that is, and we're sending out a monthly email newsletter, there's a 1 week gap there. What's going to happen in that 1 week gap? You guessed it. They're going to use another agent or refer another agent to their neighbor or their friend. So we have a ready and able sales team at our disposal. We just need to remind them we're creating successful results in real estate, you guys, and that's it. We can do it in a tactful, organic, authentic way, but we need to do it. And here's just some stats that are saying it makes more sense to work with people that already know us. Right? We're 5 times more likely to close a deal through an existing relationship. It costs 7 times more money to land a new client. And we're 4 times more likely to, or somebody's 4 times more likely to buy from us and work with us if they're referred by someone they know and trust. Let me share a few psychology concepts with you here. The Zeigarnik effect. The Zeigarnik effect is really fascinating. This talks about how we have stronger memories for uncompleted tasks versus completed ones. You're probably thinking, no kidding, Aaron. Right now I can think of all the things that I need to be doing right now, right? I bet there is a endless list of things that we could all be doing. Doesn't it seem like you're never doing enough, right? We're never accomplishing enough in our 24-hour, or really our 16-hour day, right? All of a sudden that you think you just have a full day, and all of a sudden that day just kind of closes up and you go, what did I accomplish today? Exactly. What did I do today? Well, the fact is, what's happening is we are trying to do too much. Number one. Number two, we're constantly thinking about all these things that we should be doing. And by the way, that does affect your creativity, affects your ability to really think and act on your feet and differentiate, by the way. So what we want to do is what I'd highly recommend, and I get into this in I have a time management session that I teach, but write down every single, you guys, by the way, I learned this from Oprah Winfrey. Write down every single thing that is on your mind on a piece of paper. And I don't care if it's 10 things or if it's 1,000. Write down every single thing. First off, when you do that, the relief that you experience is absolutely priceless. Now you've just emptied your thoughts, emptied your head, emptied your mind share of all these things that you should be working on. And guess what? The clarity that you have in that moment is unbelievable. It's like a high that you never thought you could achieve. And then what you can do is prioritize and then start knocking through those tasks and make sure that they are even things that you want to work on. Number one. Number two is all those tasks, those unfinished tasks are occupying mind share. Guess what? We can utilize this strategy with our network, with our sphere, right? And here's an example. You've probably heard of a feedback loop or a dopamine pathway, right? Social media provides dopamine hits. There's an addiction, right? So social media provides an addiction because humans love that dopamine rush of when we post something and we get acknowledgement of the post. When someone engaged, they like it, they comment on it. That creates a dopamine rush for us. It's a reward. We love it. Guess what? We can reward our network, our sphere, our clients with that same dopamine hit by engaging with their social media posts. Other ways that we can create an unfinished task in their mind is by simply communicating with them regularly so that they start to expect that regular communication. And when they start to expect it, they're going to go, you know what? I know Heidi's going to reach out to me in the next several weeks. Guess who they're going to be thinking about for the next several weeks until Heidi reaches out to them? Heidi. When you reach out to them and when they get off the phone, you have a great conversation with them, you get off the phone, guess what happens? They stop thinking about Heidi, and then they start thinking about her again because they go, oh, you know what? I'm going to have another call with her. So consistency in communication, consistency in posting on social media, consistency with engaging on social media can all tap into this feedback loop and create top of mind behavior in the minds of your network. Reciprocity. Robert Cialdini, an author, wrote a book about influence, the psychology, power of persuasion. If someone does something for you, you're naturally going to want to do something for them. You guys, reciprocity is real. It's valuable, and it will really power your ability to stay top of mind with your network. Here's how you do it. Simply do things for others. And when I say do things, you don't have to buy them gifts. You don't have to, you could acknowledge them, recognize their birthdays, their anniversaries. And I would say recognize it in a little more of a valuable way. Take some time to do something that they are going to perceive as being of value. What I always do is I love sending people videos over text or over Facebook Messenger. And I'll tell you what, or making that phone call for people's birthdays. They don't, guess what? You'd be surprised how many people don't get phone calls for their birthday anymore. And if you're the one, they're going to remember you for months. Right? But again, power of reciprocity is absolutely super important. Frequency illusion, creating the perception that you are everywhere. That is the subconscious mind feeding the conscious mind. And here's the deal. If people think that you're everywhere, isn't this photo just aggressive? If people think that you're everywhere, guess what? They're going to be thinking about you, thinking, Emily's going to find out if I refer someone else, I refer this person to another agent. I can't do that. I can't let her down. She's everywhere. I'm seeing her everywhere. How can we tap into that? One way to tap into that is called retargeting. If you're not familiar with advertising, this is a form of advertising where we can follow people around on social media, on websites, on their phone, wherever they're at, and make sure that they think about us. Stay top of mind with them. Again, it's called retargeting. And the last thing I want to cover with you under the psychology of top of mind is social proof. And that is simply the fact that humans are pack animals. We are herd animals. We have somehow survived for, some people say 50,000 generations. I don't know how, but we somehow have, because we trust each other, right? Because we're tribal. That's why I love Seth Godin's book, Tribes. But this is social proof, are ratings, reviews. It is us trusting the experience, the shared experience of another person, and knowing that if that person had a good experience with Farah, that guess what? I'm very likely to have that same good experience. Maybe you've been at a sandwich shop. You've never been there before. The person in line in front of you says, "Oh, I love the Turkey Club. It's the best sandwich." Orders that. You walk up there and you go, "What did that person just order?" "Oh, they ordered the Turkey Club. It's their favorite sandwich." You know what? There's 30 sandwiches up here. I don't know what to order. I'm going to get the Turkey Club too. Why not? That is social proof, you guys. Social proof manifests itself. It's actually visual, and we'll cover this when we do your digital audits. But if you do a search for yourself or someone on Google, this agent here has very, very strong social proof. See all these orange stars, right? Those are proof that she is creating success, that she is creating results. That's what people are looking for these days. When was the last time you went to Amazon and bought something without looking at the ratings and reviews? Probably never. Law number 5, deliver value. What the heck do our people find valuable? Well, we talked about empty nesters. What do you think an empty nester, someone that was in an empty nest situation scenario, might find valuable? Well, I would say, A, how can I downsize and move somewhere that is going to be low maintenance, but also have enough money to travel and go visit my family in other parts of the country, or maybe spend some time with my kids and maybe my grandkids, right? That would be really valuable. How can I make that happen? I bet they're focused on retirement, very, very focused on retirement. How can we help them make that happen earlier? So again, diving into their world, understanding not just who they are, but why they're making decisions that they're making. And so quickly, I'm going to share a 5-step outreach game plan. This is for bringing regular value to people in any shape, way, shape, or form. I'm going to just share 5 steps. And the 5 steps, first step is daily. Second step is weekly. Third step is bi-weekly. So that's twice a month or every other week. Fourth step is monthly. Fifth step is yearly. Okay, so 5-step outreach daily. What can we do every day? This is very tangible stuff. What can we do every day to bring value to people? You guys, as the trusted advisor, as a consultant, as a person that is in the business of managing and creating a great experience around the most important asset in people's lives, which is the home, the most important place of stability for people, their home. What can we do on a daily basis to nurture our people? Okay. And what I would say is perform outreach, check in on them, right? And it doesn't have to include anything that's real estate related. It could simply be a message of, how are you? How's the family? Are you safe? Are you sane during this craziness? Are you sick of wearing a mask yet? Whatever that looks like, right? Okay. Daily, checking in on social, right? Bi-weekly, what do we have to stay in front of people every couple of weeks? If we have an email that goes out, you guys, and it's just going out once a month, let's increase the frequency to every other week. And it could include market updates, news events, open houses, and it could include a video of you. Personalize it, embed your personality, infuse your personality into it. Don't just use a stock or a template information that you're pushing out. You guys, take some time to work on something like this and have this go out every 2 weeks. This could power your business. It could really power your business. Monthly, I would recommend something direct mail. And it doesn't need to go to a large number of people. It could just go to a small number of people, your MVPs. And that is going to be a postcard that just talks about a market update. curious what's happening with home values right now. A just listed, a just sold, right? Leverage your team, leverage your brokerage if you need to, right? You could send this to 10 people. You could send it to 20. You could send it to 30. You're just showing the strength and success and activity in your business. Quarterly, this is good old-fashioned outreach. How are the kids, dogs, trips? Pull your talk tracks from social media, okay? And last thing is client appreciation party. And this could be just your my yearly real estate party, right? And right now it could be over Zoom. I know agents that are doing this over Zoom. They actually have hired a comedian to do a comedy show. They've hired musicians to do musical things over. They've brought people in to speak. A lot of them. I've even spoken at some of these events because they've got a lot of business owners. And I help these business owners level up their businesses, help them with their marketing, their online presence. Okay. So whatever that looks like, you guys get in front of your people and invite them to an event every year. And if you haven't done it yet this year, invite them. You guys, and a lot of times the win is in the invite. Okay. Here's a sample touch campaign. I'm happy to get this shot out. This is a 33 touch. Again, more ideas for staying top of mind. Law number 6, create unique experiences. This is what we need to focus on. And in fact, Tom Ferry, he would not stop talking about creating unique experiences. He's talking about really 2 main things: systematizing your business, creating differentiation. I would say 3 things, and creating unique experiences, right? What are some unique experiences we can create? A couple quick stories I want to share. I know we're approaching our 11 o'clock, our time here, but Ritz-Carlton, the story of Joshi. Ritz-Carlton, there was a family that stayed at Ritz-Carlton, and their child forgot their little stuffed giraffe, his little stuffed giraffe at Ritz-Carlton. And the family, in a panic, they got home and they called Ritz-Carlton and said, we need to find out if our son left his giraffe at your resort. Let us know if you find it, please. We're begging you, because we all know if you have kids, when they get attached to something, inanimate object, it could be a blankie, it could be a stuffed animal, who knows? If they don't have it, it's rough for the parents, right? It's rough. So anyway, what happened was Ritz-Carlton found it, and they staged this photo shoot all around the property, and they even made it its own little ID, little loss prevention card. They mailed it to the family. Guess what the family did? That was a unique thing to do. They went outside of the box. They did something cool, a unique experience. They told the world about it. It made the news. If you go and search for Ritz-Carlton giraffe or Ritz-Carlton Joshi, 515,000 results show up, right? You guys, do you think Ritz-Carlton benefited by doing creating that one experience? I mean, come on. It was on the news. Here's another agent that likes to create unique experiences, Jason Ferris, okay? Jason Ferris is in the Fresno, California market. And Jason Ferris, about 10 years ago, new agent, and he held a little client appreciation event at the park, called the Party at the Park. And I think 10, 12 people showed up. Jason Ferris has since done such a good job staying top of mind with his clients, creating unique experiences for them, that Party in the Park has turned into a festival that last year had 30,000 people attend. 30,000 people. The entire downtown of Fresno, California was blocked off, and every business participated in this event. It's called the Fres Yes Festival, or Fres Yes Fest. And by the way, he is now no longer just a single agent. He now has his own brokerage, and his brokerage is called Fres Yes Realty. So Fresno, Fres Yes. Kind of cool. Anyway, so and he has FresYes.com. He has the Fres Yes Insider. That's his email newsletter that goes out. By the way, his email goes out to 30,000 people in his community, and it has over an 85% open rate. That is absolutely unheard of. Do you think this has benefited his business? I would say yes. Real quickly, I know we're running out of time. Jason's top tips for nurturing his people. He uses email. His email newsletter is really the glue to his business, and he masters his CRM. He masters his CRM. As soon as he finds out something personal about someone, whether on social media or they've shared it with him, he logs it in the CRM. He's tagging his contacts in his CRM with things they love to do, whether they love to hike or they love to bake or they love to ride horses. And when he performs outreach, it's personal. It's personal to them. I just came across this new stable facility. It would be great to, you can leave your horse there, whatever, right? So very personalized. Imagine the recipient of that email is like, wow, Jason cares about me. Okay, so my last law, set micro goals, you guys. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. We talked earlier about if you want to accomplish big things in this business, and I know you all do, that's why you're on today's session, Leveling Up. We have to be able to measure our activity. Create micro goals. Okay, create micro goals. Check in with yourself. But what I would say is write down, let's say your goal every day is to make 5 daily contacts. Set 2 appointments a week. Generate 1 monthly referral. And let's check those boxes off when we hit them. If we haven't, what can we do differently in our business to achieve those goals on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? Because guess what? You know how you accomplish those big lofty goals? You set small little micro goals every single day. Okay. And if you're not using a CRM, you guys, leverage a CRM. I want to finish with embrace your people, embrace them, live in a place of abundance, like gratitude driven, peace. It leaves a peace of mind. You make wiser choices, creates positive outcomes. It's a true win-win. Here's the thing. We all can find ourselves in a place of scarcity. It's where we're fear-driven mindset. We have a lot of anxiety running through our head about maybe we feel like we're failing, or we're afraid to do something. We're afraid to leave our comfort zone. We're afraid to stretch ourselves. We're experiencing a lot of resistance. I call it resistance, right? That's when we're in a scarcity mindset. Brian Buffini had a guest on yesterday. You know what he does when he gets in that mindset? He puts a big smile on his face and he starts jumping up and down. You guys, how can you be in a bad place when you're jumping up and down with a big smile on your face? I don't care where he's at. That's what he does. It's a physiological change in demeanor. It can change your mindset. Anyway, living in a place of scarcity leads to poor choices and negative outcomes. You guys, it's all about gratitude. It's all about being that place of abundance. Stay consistent, be courageous, operate in the presence of fear, push through your resistance. You guys, check out that book, Tribes by Seth Godin. I love it. And again, I'm here for you. I'm a resource for Heidi. And you guys, reach out to Heidi. She'll help you out. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it. If you found value in today's session, would you tell one of your colleagues? I would love to talk with them. Right? I would love to talk with them. I'd love to be back for more trainings, especially if we get face-to-face. Love to do some more workshops. I do a lot of really, hands-on workshops as well, where we move the needle, where we accomplish something during the session as well. So again, I'm a resource for you. I work directly with Heidi and WFG. So you guys leverage me. Okay? That's what I would do if I were you. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much for your time today.
Aaron.
And we will talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye for now.